This original WSRE presentation is made possible by viewers like you. Thank you. Welcome to PJC Today. This special summer edition will include an interview with PJC President Dr. Ed Meadows. You'll also take a summer trip abroad to Italy with PJC students. Watch highlights from some of the programs at Pensacola Junior College and take a look at events that happened throughout the previous year. All this and more on PJC Today's Summer Edition. But first, an interview with host Patrice Whitten and Chris Lynn, head of the PJC Visual Arts Department.
Today we're going to showcase one of PJC's jewels, the Visual Arts Department. This department sends students to prestigious art schools around the nation. Many of these schools understand the quality of our programs and come to us to recruit top-notch students. With us today is director of the program, Chris Lynn, as well as current student Josh Guidreau. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today.
Thank
and
you.
Getting right into the program, tell us what's on the list for 2010. Lots going on.
There is a lot going on.
Yeah.
Several things that we have going on right now. One of the major things is we are actually looking into the possibility of offering a 4-year bachelor's degree in our graphic design program.
That's very exciting.
We have that before the state right now, waiting to hear back from that. Mm-hmm. We have the usual things we always have, the shows that we have in the Anna Lamar Switzer Center, the exhibitions that go on year-round in there. And then the classes, obviously, which is the most important thing that goes on there for all the programs we have. Mm-hmm.
Josh, how do you feel from a student's perspective about being in the Visual Arts Department and having access to the equipment and the instruction and faculty?
Oh, it's been awesome ever since I've come in. I actually started as a business major, but I actually had a art history class in my first term with Dr. Patrick Rowe, and it's what really, I guess you could say, set me on fire as far as actually going in to study in the visual art field. And after being around the department and whatnot, it was something that I really was interested in, and so I found out about the graphic design department and switched over that next term, and it's been great ever since. It's huge, but it's also very interesting, and it's been great ever since I've been in.
Why do you think that schools like the Savannah School of Art Design and so many across the country, top-notch, come to PJC's Visual Arts Department to recruit students?
Mainly because we represent ourselves so well as far as with the quality that they're putting out. The professors are able to teach the students the same things that they're doing in other schools, but also get them ready for that next step, all with the same quality, because the students are putting such a great effort into it. So the quality is not suffered by the equipment that is being used. So
now there's also an art gallery, world-class area for exhibits and such.
There is. We have. It's really amazing. We're fortunate again because of the way the whole facility is designed. It's designed around the gallery. The gallery is, every time you walk out of one of the studios in one of the classrooms, you are in the gallery. So it truly is a teaching gallery that we use. I mentioned earlier there shows up every month of the year-round. We're open from 8 in the morning till 8 in the evening, except for Friday when we're only open till 4. Mm-hmm. And it's free. It's open to the public. But we bring in national, international, regional artists. We have just an amazing amount of work and scope of work that's brought in.
And I've been to many of the exhibits there and look forward to them. And I know there's a student exhibit that is normally done in April.
Yes.
Tell us some more about that and how that comes together with the students.
We call it the Students Honor Exhibition, and what it is all of the faculty there will go through, and all the students know this is coming up, and so they have time to plan for it and work, and it's a great way to showcase the best of the best, if you will. Every faculty member has so many choices they can bring out because we only have so much room in there, and they choose the best out of their particular classes, and then we put it all up, and it's open for the public to see, and it's a great testament to what goes on over in our area.
And I know there are awards given at that time to students, outstanding students.
We actually, last year during our award ceremony, we gave out just under $25,000 worth of scholarships, cash awards, and prizes, if you will. The materials that were donated by different vendors around. So we really try hard to give back to our students, because it's not cheap buying materials. So.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
What do you see as the future of the center?
What we are working towards now is every year we try to get bigger and better with what we bring in as far as exhibitions, but also with the classes that we're doing. We are hoping to become, eventually, we're planning on becoming a regional arts center, something, a place that can bring in shows and exhibitions that are really not available in this area right now. So that's our plan.
Well, thank you so very much.
PJC Visual Arts Department, this is Ander. How may I help you? I currently am working on a series of pieces that are incorporating the concept of death and mutation and what that means to society and how that affects our daily lives. I start with wax. I carve the wax, I form the wax, I get it to where I like it, and then you make a mold based off of plaster. It's plaster that's been reinforced. Then you melt the wax out, and then you have a negative form to pour the bronze into. Then you have to finish off the bronze.
Right now I'm just glazing a mug that I made and carved something in relief into it. I basically take it outside and it goes to a glaze kiln, and then after it gets fired in that kiln, it comes out looking a lot different. We get graded on all of the pottery that we end up submitting throughout the semester. So everything that ends up getting worked on the wheel, we fire it, then we glaze it, and that gets sent into the glaze fire, and then we get graded on all of it. It's something I honestly enjoy doing. I like being able to work with my hands a lot, and ceramics helps me do that. I draw a lot, and that's also where a lot of that comes from.
It's a 3D object. The materials you use can be anything, and it has to make a statement, and the person who views your art project needs to understand the statement that you're making without you having to explain it. Like a candy toothbrush, for instance. You don't really have to explain it to know what my statement is. I use a torch lighter, and I put two pieces of candy together and I melt them together to where it's really, really strong. Like, you cannot move it. And basically that's the project in a nutshell. And so I used peppermint sticks and chocolate-covered peppermint sticks. This is all Jolly Ranchers that are melted together, no glue at all. Candies are really cool media to work with.
This is a Painting 1 class, and the prerequisites are to take two-dimensional design, which is one of our fundamental classes, or foundation classes, and Drawing 1. So they should have some basic skills about how to draw and some understanding of color, and then we're just dealing with how to paint, physicality of the paint and how to handle paint and what the dynamics of color, and the interaction of color on the canvas. Then we just apply it to different subject matters. We start with the still life, and then we've done figure. Sometimes I'll end up doing a landscape, but the subject matter is not that important. It's really all about just kind of getting that composition working.
Well, this is the only fitness center we have on this campus. So we're always trying to encourage students to take the class. In order to have access to the Life Center, they have to take a class. It's a 3 college credit course called Concepts of Life Fitness, HLP 1081. So we probably have about 4 or 5 sections each semester. And the function is to provide a recreational fitness environment for the students here on campus. In addition to the students, we also have non-credit courses that are designed for the community. Residents of the community can take a class and have access to the fitness center as well. I think we sort of have a little niche out here in Santa Rosa County because there aren't very many fitness centers here in the county, and so A lot of our members are attracted to the environment here. It's a non-threatening environment. They feel very safe and very welcome here at the fitness center. So, and we have great staff members. All of my staff members have at least a 4-year college degree in exercise physiology or exercise science. Down here in the fitness center, in the main part of the room, we have Nautilus equipment, we have indoor rowers, we have treadmills, bicycles, upright bicycles and recumbent bicycles. We also have an indoor track upstairs. We have an indoor track that's rubberized surface. It's 10.5 laps to a mile. It's air conditioned, heated in the winter time. We also have cameras for their safety. We also have down here in the downstairs area, we also have a few dumbbells, free weights that range from 2 pounds to 70 pounds. A lot of our college students like to use free weights. So, my point of view, exercise is very, very important. In fact, it's the most valuable asset that we have is our health and good fitness. So, you know, looking at it from my perspective is probably the most important asset that we have. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of Americans have obesity problems, diabetic problems, heart disease problems. So in my opinion, it's very, very important, both from a standpoint of preventative medicine, plus also too, we find that students who are healthier are usually better academically as well.
The Milton Gardens, it's a teaching garden. That garden is sponsored financially by the Friends of the Garden, and then the UF employees volunteer our time. On Mondays, we try to do it 1 day a week. The garden, I think, is between 10 and 15 acres, and then we share one building with PJC, and we have one to ourselves. But we do constantly add on. We've had the formal garden, the vine garden, the perennial garden for years, and now we've added a shade garden. So we've cleared a large area. And the children's garden we've recently redone with an area for all the senses. You know, we have a tasting garden, we have one that's scented. We're going to add some playground equipment, hopefully like a caterpillar that they can go through because we have a butterfly garden there. So that's new. There's a maze in there for the kids to go through that's been there for years that people don't really know about. So we're hoping people find out more and more about it. Every semester we usually have a couple interns that come handle one of the projects and write the report, and you know, they get credit for that as an internship. You get your 2-year degree at PJC, and then you can come to UF and follow up and get a 2-year degree in forestry or environmental horticulture or turf management. That's our northern campus on J. So there's 3 programs that they can transfer over and then end up with a full 4-year degree.
We have gathered before this building, which stands as a legacy to the lives of 2 very special teachers and educational professionals, Raymond B. and Leila Hobbs. The gift of a good teacher is without measure, and the value of a good teacher cannot be measured in dollars. But the funds donated to create the Hobbs Center for Teaching Excellence will enhance the time spent in this facility for faculty and student teachers alike, and will certainly enrich the experience of our students. It is therefore with much gratitude that Pensacola Junior College acknowledges the gift of $1 million from a representative of the Hobbs family estate, which has created this everlasting memorial to the Hobbs family.
As a granddaughter of this wonderful couple, I remember them as 2 loving and caring people that taught me that whatever I wanted to do in life, I could do with a little work, and that education was the key to getting there. And when I heard about what they wanted to do with this building, I knew that this was something that they would have appreciated and would have wanted to be a part of.
The Hobbs Center provides our students with the technology to enhance their education and the skills necessary in the world of work. Hundreds of students have already benefited from our resources, and countless more are still to come.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do specifically today. It's your personality assessment. It's called Please Understand Me. And what it is, it's a 70-question assessment. You answer A or B, just depending on what your preference is in that certain situation. There's no right or wrong answers. The Career Center offers services to the community, whether you're a student or whether you're just someone in the community. Our services are free of charge and they're open for anyone. And they help students to decide what career is best suited for them.
I'm at PJC. I plan on getting my general education classes and applying for the nursing program.
If you look at your computer desktop, look for the Apple icon that says Please Understand Me. Go ahead and double click that. Once you've answered your preferences for all 70 questions, then it's going to tell us what specifically your personality type is. And so when we're done with all the questions, I will get everybody back together. We have a process of 4 different appointments that we do with them. We look at their personality type, we look at the things that they're interested in doing on a job and the things that are most important to them about a job, and we give them research information on the careers they're most interested in, including the education that's required, the money that they'll make, and if there are jobs in the area. So it's a process where we try to decide what career is best suited for that person. We have traditional and non-traditional students. We have students who are right out of high school who are not sure what they want to major in, or sometimes they absolutely know what career they want to go into, but they just need a validation that they're headed in the right direction.
It's really told me a lot about myself. I like the 70 questions. It really was like, it got into depth about me, and it told me a lot. I really liked it.
And an intuitive person likes to focus on the big pictures, the possibilities of a situation. They admire creative ideas. They notice anything that's new or different. They think about the future a lot. If you ask an intuitive person, they can envision their future 10 years from now and tell you if they're going to be married, how many kids they'll have, what job they'll be doing. It's a very beneficial services because the students try to get an idea of the career that best suit them based on the information that they provide us. And then even if they know what career they want to go into, we just kind of help them to confirm that and give them any information that they need about that career. Does anybody have any question about your personality type or how it came out? Is there anyone who wants to tell me what your personality type is and I can tell you what it says about you? ESTJ. On the 4th appointment that we do with the student, it's a one-on-one advising session, and we talk to them about what they're doing at PJC, what they need to take for the next term, what classes they're in, their test scores, financial aid information. We go over all of that with the student and just make sure that they know which path they need to go to get to the career they're most interested in, if PJC has that program available, and what they need to do to get into that program. So we refer them to other departments. We also advise them on just the whole registration process and what they need to do for their next term, and just help them to map out their career pathway while they're here. And do C enter and D enter.
I think it really will help me out in my future. It told me what jobs I would be good at, what jobs I wouldn't be good at. So overall, I think it's a positive impact on my future, really.
Welcome, Dr. Meadows.
Well, thank you, Patrice. I'm very happy to be your special guest today.
Yes, we're glad you could be here to talk with us today about the state of the college and what's been happening. Tell us about your 1+ years experience here at PJC.
Well, of course, I came to PJC in a very interesting year, being the culmination of 60 years of service to this community, and also at a particularly daunting time economically, not just in the state of Florida, but the nation and the world. But it's been a year of getting to know people, places, and things, and a year of major decision making regarding opportunities and challenges that this institution has faced and will continue to face for several years because of the scarcity of financial resources. And it's also been a good year of accomplishments for PJC. We've continued that long tradition of success with many student successes and huge graduation numbers. We still rank in the top 50 and the top 100 of associate degree producing institutions in the nation. And at every board meeting, we try to bring to the beginning of each board meeting a positive student success story. So we have continued the tradition with the 6th presidency of this fine institution.
What attracted you to Pensacola Junior College?
I think as early on as my first year as an instructor in community colleges, I knew of the outstanding reputation and the envy of the nation of the 28 community colleges in Florida. The Florida community college system is internationally known, it's not just nationally known. And later on, when I found out that Pensacola Junior College was going to have a vacancy, I was particularly interested in PJC because PJC is one of the standout institutions in the Florida college system. It is an institution that is not only known regionally but nationally for very, very many exemplary programs and very many striking accomplishments over its past 60 years. So yes, it's the envy of anyone's eye that is seeking a presidency at a prestigious community college.
What do you see PJC's role in the community as being primarily?
I think we would have to look at the thousands and thousands and thousands of graduates of Pensacola Junior College that not only have left our community but still are here with us and supportive of PJC. But many people started their adult lives here. They met their spouses. They learned a skill that caused them to become interested in a particular career. They started their first 2 years here and matriculated to a university. So our role is being the starting place for young adults and old alike in higher education. And our higher education is very comprehensive in terms of not only being the first 2 years of a 4-year degree, but also being the first 2 years of the first year of technical and vocational training to provide people with skills to go to work in our community. So we're the mainstay. We're the economic engine that drives our community in terms of training and education.
You've made a lot of strides towards achieving lean office, and you've installed many cost-saving measures to date. Talk a little bit about those strategies and those major initiatives that you've implemented.
Well, unfortunately, a poor economy is a good opportunity to evaluate your priorities at your institution, and so we've had to take a very hard look at our organizational structure. We've had to look at how to reorganize when people retired in order to affect the cost savings and decreasing our costs and increasing our revenue. And one way you increase your revenue is, of course, by enrollment increases, but another way, of course, is by decreasing expenditures. That actually can be a double-edged sword in a positive way. The lean office assessment is actually not an economic decision as well as it is an efficiency decision. Lean office is designed to help evaluate your administrative and managerial processes so that you can get more work done more quickly. And when you do that, you increase your services and the effectiveness of your services, so you actually live up to being more student-friendly when you can provide those services to students in a more effective and efficient way. Other ways that we are having to look at becoming better at what we do is we recently employed a energy education specialist, and this individual is charged solely with meeting the goal of decreasing our utility cost or our utility usage by 10%, which will in turn decrease our costs for utilities. And the primary area that individual will be working with our people, our employees, the people that use energy, the people that consume materials at the college, and how to dispose of those materials once they become waste, and how we function within the environment that we find ourselves under, these hundreds of thousands of square feet of roofs that we have spread over 3 campuses. So you know, evaluating and reorganizing our college to make it more efficient and effective is a cost-saving measure, but it's also a managerial decision that hopefully helps us organize better, and lean office is a process of streamlining those processes. And then as we look at how we spend our resources, the energy education specialist is a person that will help us decrease a $3 million budget for utilities, hopefully substantially over the next few years.
Thank you for joining us.